Hello, I'm Damon Melcher with X-Treme Bait Tanks.
And I'm Keper Connell from Clandestino Fisheries.
We are in Rye Harbor, New Hampshire, aboard the Figment. And Keper's been at ProStaffer with X-Treme Bait Tanks for a year now.
Celebrating our 1-year anniversary.
Yep. And here we are sitting with the 80-gallon saltwater tank. Now, when we created this particular unit, it was with the idea in mind of the cold water herring. So tell us a little bit about that bait, because that is one of the preferred baits for tuna fish.
Yes, so the bluefin tuna, what we're targeting, is very particular about why they're here in the Gulf of Maine, and it's mostly because of food. That food is primarily herring. Herring is a cold water forage. We also have a lot of ground fish, so haddock and codfish and pollock, all the same thing, and they like cold, cold water.
Now, you see 50 or below.
Yeah.
And prior to this particular tank, you had homemade jobs like this.
Yep.
And what did you have to do to attempt to create that kind of environment to keep bait?
So it's constant babysitting, dumping ice into the water, monitoring, cleaning it, changing the water all the time, losing, primarily a certain percentage of the bait we're catching as just cost of doing the business, and no longer.
Yeah. So with that, you're looking at sometimes 200 feet of water.
Yeah.
You're catching bait.
We're on the bottom, so at 200 feet of water.
And that water is
40 degrees.
Yeah. And you're not only bringing them up from that depth, but you're taking them from 40-degree water to whatever surface temperature. So depending on the time of the year,
mid-60s.
Yeah, that could be bad.
It's detrimental.
So the tank, if you don't have the temperature in that tank at or below the 50, you've got floaters pretty quick.
You've got dead fish.
And you were telling me that keeping that kind of bait alive for a couple hours was really what you expected.
Yeah, a couple hours is good.
So now what we've got with the tank, we built a 360-degree ice chamber. So it does take quite a bit of ice, but it's an off-the-grid version where you can immediately cool that tank down to the low 40s is what we had temperatured that at.
Yep.
As a result, we came out here yesterday. We left at 1 o'clock in the morning.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Right now it's 9 a.m. the next day. Starting catching bait around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So the bait that's been in this tank's been in here for over 24 hours. And in here we've got a whiting, herring.
We've got herring, we've got a pollock, we've got a haddock. All primary forage for bluefin tuna, all needing specific water temperature, and we've been able to achieve that here.
So I think it's safe to say with this tank, the objective wasn't necessarily to be able to keep bait overnight, even though that may be an added benefit, but really more throughout the day.
And also to provide comfort, because bringing those fish into a live well through 30-degree temperature change, on board with sunlight in a foreign environment, and being able to create and duplicate an environment that they can prolong and sustain is priceless.
Yeah.
I mean, I thank you so much for this.
Well, my pleasure. And part of being a staffer, one of the things that I get is feedback, because I'm not here every day. And we've talked about some ideas.
But you are in spirit. You are in spirit.
Yes, I am always in spirit. And anytime the invitation stands, I'll be here physically too, because this place is gorgeous. Absolutely amazing.
Very lucky.
But I get to have feedback so that I can incorporate that into the tank. And these are things that I don't necessarily think of because I don't use the tank.
Right.
And that's why I say I like where the tanks take me, because I can get on the boat, I can share the experience with you, see what they're doing well, what can we do better. And we've already come up with some ideas on how we can even tweak a good tank to make it even better.
Correct.
But without going into that particular, let's take a look at the bait. This bait is lucky because they may have been hooked up, but we're going to get to release it because we're done for the day. So let's take a look inside the tank.
All right. Behold.
Tell us what we got.
Top of the list, we have a beautiful, happy, wriggly, messy haddock, alive and kicking, happy as can be.
We can go ahead and release them.
You want to let them go?
Yeah.
All right.
They've earned their stripe.
If I can catch them.
That's crazy.
All right.
Nice. Now, is that typically a fish that's hard to keep alive? Same way,
this,
huh?
this fish will die in minutes. But want to thank it? Give it some kisses. There
Beautiful.
it goes. We've got a mackerel, which is a very bulletproof fish here. He'll live another day. See what else we got here. There's another mackerel. No problem. See if we can't catch it. It's a hard time catching. Everybody's so happy. Look, there's another haddock. That thing is
That's awesome.
upset.
Awesome.
That fish would be dead in an hour under normal applications. So this tank is really creating and achieving all of the criteria to keep these fish alive. So much so that I am having a hard time finding and catching. There he is. There's a pollock. This is the brother to the codfish and the haddock. Also a prime bait for bluefin tuna. See you later.
Do we have a white?
We do have a whiting here somewhere. Can you turn off the bubbles so I can get at him? He's here. He was here half hour ago. Maybe he left.
There
There he is right there. It's hard to catch.
What
Missed him.
happened?
There he is. Missed him again.
All right. People are going to think you're faking.
I am faking it. We've got a scuba diver down here handing them to me. I see you.
Fair.
Okay. Whiting. Another bottom fish. Quintessential food for the bluefin.
All right. And that is our tank.
See you later. That's our tank. That commences today's show.
There you go. That was the show. Well, awesome. So that makes my heart happy right there, because those were some.
And me too,
mighty
as
fish.
a fisherman, Damon. One of the things that you know takes up more of your time than anything is babysitting live bait. Live bait is simply options. If fish are finicky and don't want to bait, what do? You go to the next bait. You go to the next bait, different application.
Well, and you showed that yesterday because we had 3 lines out.
3 lines out.
And we had squid,
haddock, herring, pollock.
Yeah, and you were constantly rotating them. Even though you spotted tuna on the screen,
We did
you
mark
were
some
giving
fish.
them all the options. They just chose not to eat yesterday.
Which is very typical. Bluefin have the many traits of a brown trout where you can see them, put a bait on them, just swim right past it.
But we all know if you don't have the bait, there's no bite.
If you don't have the bait, you can't catch them at the pier.
Yeah.
Live bait is, arrows in the quiver, and no longer do I have to spend my precious mind power babysitting live bait.
Yep, very good. Tell us a little bit about, you have a charter service up here?
I do. I've been operating clandestino charters out of Rye Harbor since 2013, specializing in bluefin trips as well as groundfish trips, which many of these fish are during the seasons. I'm able to take 4 to 6 people out. Bluefin tuna is also a great way to get out and experience the Gulf of Maine.
Yeah. So if you have any questions about chartering service and you're interested in coming up this way, give Keper a call. We'll put his contact information on this particular post. But hey, Keper, I appreciate the relationship, the partnership, and until then, we hope you have an extreme day.
Oh, don't forget about the squid. We had a squid.
Oh, yes.
We had 1 squid, and we were going to use it and put it in the live well, and one of our technicians,
our content creator,
lost it.
was afraid of getting bit.
He was afraid of getting
And
beat.
it just so happened that that particular clip of 5 hours disappeared.
No one knows.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
So sad. So
So, anyway.
sad. Hey, long live Squid Lips.
Have an extreme day, yo.
Got him. We got him.
I gotta edit this stuff.
You didn't think you're going to get away with that. Come on.
That's good. I think those fish were amazing.
Yes, they are, man.
I always say the bait don't lie.
Bait don't lie.